Hi, I'm Jay, and today we're going to tie a gray glory pattern as a jig. Stay tuned. And good morning. I'm without my coffee, but that's okay. I'm at the bench today, wanted to turn the cameras on. I'm tying a pattern, just playing around. I've been kind of on a gray, blue dun, slate gray, steel gray kick lately. And I was looking through a couple books, and again, I was thinking about some traditional streamer patterns and how they would look tied up as jigs. I think there's an awful lot of really nice traditional patterns that if we put on a jig, if we want to imitate some sort of bait fish or some sort of forage for our particular area, we can come up with some really nice patterns. So was just tying a lot of patterns lately using this slate gray. Wanted to find something a little bit different, something that I might not put in the inventory, but something that I do want to play with maybe over the summer. A pattern or two, taking traditional streamer patterns and turning them into jigs. So we have a gray glory, and I'm going to tie these on. Let's get situated. I'm going to tie these on to a 1/8 ball head. Mainly because I think the finished size for this jig and the type of water I'm going to be fishing in, the weight would be perfect and the size would really mimic minnows in our area. So I'm fishing in the Susquehanna River. Generally, I don't know, 2 to 2.5 feet, maybe just above the knees. If you were wading, I suppose, is a lot of the depth, and of course, it's going to be near other changes in contour and whatnot. So it might be shallower water, right near a drop off, etc. But the gray glory, it's a slate gray. Let's back up a second. Here we go. So initially, I saw this pattern at Scott Byron's site. You can check him out on YouTube. Ties an awful lot of streamers. And on his website, he talks specifically about the gray glory. It's a nice pattern. It's a nice streamer. Gray glory is also listed in Tandem Streamers by Don Wilson, which is also a nice reference for this. It's an interesting pattern. Basically, it's a dun hackle over a white belly, and then there's and they use a shoulder of lemon wood duck to give it kind of a yellowy shoulder. The wood duck, of course, is striped. We're not doing that, but I think the color combinations that we're using today will kind of mimic that. So I've tied a few so far. I tied my original with a good rod, kind of a golden rod, and then I've switched to a 2-watt. This is also a good rod, and I don't know what this is called. Probably just yellow, but it seems a little washed out, kind of a light yellow. But I think it'll work perfect for this. So this jig will be a blue dun over white. Let's get everything together properly. Will be a blue dun over white. I will add a little bit of tinsel, as the original pattern uses a bronze peacock. Peacock tail on the bronze side, so that browner goldish color as opposed to the green of a peacock feather. We'll lock on our steel gray. And I have been tying a lot with different grays lately, and it definitely is a color that I don't think we use enough. And I might be echoing comments that I've made over the last few videos. But I really do enjoy jigs and flies that are tones of gray. So we lock that on, give it a twist. And for, I'm not going to use peacock. What I have here is a crinkle mirror flash, which is a flash that I've kind of been a big fan of over the last couple years. This is peacock black. And it has that bronze look. There's some purples and aqua kind of colors in here. A little bit of gold, a little bit of brown. But I'm just going to take a pinch of a dozen or so strands, and I'm going to put them right down the center of this hook shank between the two colors. So we've added our dun, and now we add our flash. Straight down the middle. A little bit of blue in here I see as the light's hitting it from the top. And then we're going to add a little bit of white. And the colors I'm adding are a little bit sparse. Just a little bit. I'm reducing the amount maybe by about 15-20% than I normally would if I was just using 2 pinches of color. You could really go make it streamer-like and make these pinches very sparse and tie them in a way where they're just right in line with the top of the hook shank and the bottom of the hook shank, as opposed to kind of wrapping around, right? Before I finish that, I'll take a little bit of a look. It's a very pretty jig as it is. The dun with white, maybe a little bit of flash. But as we mentioned, the cheeks on that streamer are yellow wood duck. And what I have here is just the tip of an old cream tail. And the length of these hairs are a little short. Even for a 1/8 jig, it really wouldn't give me a nice body length. But for what we're going to do here, I think it will work perfectly. So I take a pinch that's fairly sparse, and I will stack the fibers just like I normally would. And then we'll put this in as a beard, just about the length of the hook. Alright, I'm going to measure it. It might extend just slightly past the bend of the hook, but not a whole lot. Just a bit. I'm going to lay my pinch in. I'll lock it in with 5 wraps, fairly loose. I wasn't cranking down on that. I wasn't adding a lot of pressure. And I'm just going to try to push that cream color just so it extends equal with the white on both sides. Just to spread it out just a bit. I'll go back, and I'm holding it nice and tight with my left hand to finish this off. We'll take a piece of size A thread of a different color just to whip finish this. Now you could use a whip finish tool. The 1/8 head is small enough to whip finish with most any size whip finish tool. Just lift the fibers up just to let them center themselves on the point of the hook. And let's see how we did. It's a pretty little jig. Again, we're tying this in the same pattern as the Gray Glory, and that streamer pattern was created by Ray Salminen, and it's to mimic a smelt. It's a smelt pattern. I think it's a pretty jig. I'm going to give this jig a try this summer. I know that was a quick look into imitating one of these streamer patterns. Don't be afraid to try to be a little creative. Look at some of the old books. Look through some of the fly tying books. See if there's patterns that kind of spark a little bit of creativity. But until next time, keep tying in tight lines.